Hey guys, it's Isaac DVD Reviews here again, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about more of my bad movie experiences at the cinemas I've had. And yeah, so I uploaded a video back in January called My Moviegoing Experiences, and yeah, so what I did was I talked about 3 different films. I talked about my experience at Zombieland Double Tap, Maleficent Mistress of Evil, and my dreadful, absolutely awful experience at Gemini Man with 4 teenage girls who wouldn't shut the hell up because they were just stupid and going every time there was a bit of violence or an explosion. And so yeah, if you want to hear that full story, please go watch my video, My Moviegoing Experiences. Anyway guys, so today I'm going to be discussing a few movie experiences that I've had, as well as the experiences I talked about in the last video that I did on this situation. And yeah, so I'm going to start off by saying that when quarantine is over and the coronavirus lockdown is lifted and cinemas start reopening again eventually, in some months to come hopefully, we all deserve a great first cinema experience. Like, we deserve peace and quiet at the cinema when we first go. And even though we don't really know what movie we'll be going to see, we still need, like, peace and quiet, like, for everybody to be quiet. Because it'll be, like, one of the first experiences after the coronavirus lockdown is finished. And, yeah. So what we deserve is, as I just said, we deserve a nice peaceful experience with no talking, no distractions, no silly teenage girls coming in, walking upstairs going, "You there!" "Oh no, it's an action movie!" That is not what we need. But whenever cinemas do reopen, we need good experiences. And I mean good experiences. Anyway, so yeah, I'm going to talk to you guys about some of my other bad experiences. So, this isn't a bad experience, this one. This is just what could have been a bad experience. And I'm just going to quickly speak about it. Well, I went to watch the film Underwater with Kristen Stewart in it, and basically everything was alright, but the thing is then the movie logo started and I heard people across the road talking. I just heard them go and it was through the movie logo, so it was through like the 20th Century Fox logo. And yeah, and I thought that they were going to do it the whole movie, but luckily as soon as the movie actually started, they shut up. Thank God. And anyway, so yeah, it was a good experience, everybody was quiet. Anyway, it was like a 7:35 showing. And yeah. So next thing I'd like to talk to you guys about is kids in the movie cinema. And when I say kids, I mean like people younger than my age, mainly. I don't know. Anyway, I mean like kiddies, like if you go to a kids movie and you'll see kids, and you might get kids talking too loud. And so yeah, and so why this bothers me is basically because kids don't really know much, and they don't really know how to keep 100% quiet at the cinema, or at least lower your voice down. Some children don't really know about that, so some children are quite disruptive and noisy in the cinema. That's not always true. I had a good experience with a child who was sat right next to me. I went to watch the film Johnny English Strikes Again, which is the 3rd film in the Johnny English franchise. I had this kid sat next to me. I looked at him and he just smiled. and yeah, he had a little packet of Haribo with him, and yeah, so I looked at him and he just smiled, and I thought, alright, he could be like a really quiet kid, and believe it or not, he was. In fact, the whole audience was really, really quiet in Johnny English Strikes Again. Like, I don't really think anyone was cracking up at the jokes or anything. It was just really nice and really quiet and a really good experience. So yeah, what I mean by kids talking too loud is I had an experience where I went to see the Lego Movie 2, the second part, and I just got kids talking. Like, at some point, kids just started talking and getting up out of the seat like this and going. And it just kind of got to me. And I've had a few experiences like that with kids speaking too loud and stuff like that. And I went to watch Dora and the Lost City of Gold. And basically what happened was... this is actually quite a necessary experience for me to talk about. So I went to the Odeon in Bradford to see that film. And... so yeah. So I went in the screen, and I was getting ready to watch Dora and the Lost City of Gold. The surprising thing was, there were no advertisements before the film, there were just like trailers. And the same thing happened when I went to see Gemini Man, which was an awful experience, basically because of by a group of 13-year-old girls, or something like that. And yeah, anyway, this experience, Dora and the Lost City of Gold. So yeah, after the trailers came on, which were only like 10 minutes long, so I can blame the cinema for this. There was barely anybody there when the actual film started, do you know what I mean? Like, when the logos were coming on, everybody started coming in. Oh my god. Yeah, everybody started coming in when the logos were coming on. You know why? Because the Odeon didn't have advertisements, and usually they have like up to like 23 minutes of advertisements and trailers before the film. And they didn't have any advertisements, they just had like 10 minutes of trailers. And so when the film actually started, everybody was coming in, it was getting a little bit thingy, like everybody was like the Paramount logo playing and everybody was just coming in, walking in, getting sat down, everybody was trying to be quiet. Silly family would take your pictures like this. And crap like that, and yeah. And like they would take pictures with a flash and going with the phone. As you can see, I did it with this phone here, which is my iPhone. And yeah. But anyway, at one point during the film, I think it was as it was starting in the first 10 minutes, I shushed the kid. You know why? Because he went like, why the hell do you have to get and just shout and just say something really loud in a really annoying kid voice, because it's just annoying. And so until you went and I just went shh, because like, it needs to be quiet. And yeah, so next issue I would like to talk to you guys about is people laughing, which just really gets to me. Like, I understand that a film might be a comedy and that it might be like and that it might be like funny, but it's just out of control sometimes when it gets to laughing. Like, I've been to see multiple movies where people have laughed and I've just got really annoyed. Like, you're supposed to find it funny, but then when other people laugh, I just find it like annoying. You get what I'm saying? And yeah, so I went to watch Bad Boys for Life at Cineworld in Leeds, and actually this experience was where people just kept laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing because there were a lot of good jokes, I guess. But yeah, and it was just really, really, really annoying. Like, so what happened was basically I went into the cinema and I was going to do a review on this channel for Bad Boys for Life. And so I kind of filmed like a video of myself going into the screen in the Cineworld cinema in Leeds. And yeah, so as I was going in, like, I filmed myself going in, sitting down, and then the movie started. After the advertisements and trailers, as they always would. But then eventually people started laughing and kind of getting on my nerves, you know what I mean? Like, there's one scene, spoiler alert, guys, if you haven't seen Bad Boys for Life, sorry about not really warning you about spoilers last time, where I said about the end scene of Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, and a couple other scenes in Gemini Man, even though they weren't that spoilerific, and the credit scene in Zombieland Double Tap. I'm sorry if I spoil those movies, like if you haven't seen them and if you spoil them, I'm really, really, really sorry. But you know, I forgot. As my mum says, I forgot. Anyway. So yeah, basically Bad Boys for Life started, and there's this one scene, right? In like the first, I guess, 25 minutes or so. And Mike and Marcus, the two main protagonists of the film, well, not protagonists, the two main, like, characters of the film, got out of the car, and they were walking into this building or something, they were chatting, people were laughing, and then what do you know, a dead body comes and smashes the thing on the car, smashes, like, the windscreen on the car. And basically everybody was laughing. It was kind of like a little bit of a laughing riot, even though it wasn't a loud laughing riot, it was kind of a laughing riot. And yeah, people just kept laughing, and then Mike and Marcus walk over, and they all start going oh, and going bleh, because they don't really like that a dead body dropped on the car. And people just laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing and laughing, and I was like, shut up. Anyway, I've actually just recalled some things that happened before the film. So I'm going to talk about them too. So before the film, before Bad Boys for Life, this is before now, even though I'm kind of skipping it. I'm kind of skipping the story. Yeah, this is before Bad Boys for Life, when the adverts were playing. People laughed at an advertisement for Tango. Yes, that's right. People found an advert for Tango funny. An advert advertising a fizzy sugar drink is apparently comedy to them. I don't get it. I just don't. Like, it's an advert where I think it's a girl, she gives this thing to her dad, and he calls down to a person downstairs and he says, hey, come look at this head massager, or something like that. And people found that funny. And, like, even though it might have been funny, it was just weird, because, like, they were laughing and laughing at the Tango, like, what the heck? I just found it odd and weird and quite kind of pathetic. And there was also a trailer for Greed, and there's one scene at the end of the trailer where they talk about Rod Stewart's brother, and then there's a guy, and then he looks like Rod Stewart, and then they say Simon Cowell or something, and then there's a guy who looks like Simon Cowell, and they were laughing at that too. And yeah, maybe the trailer was funny, but still, it just gets to me when people laugh. Like, I don't like it, like, when you try to find a funny moment in a film, when there's like a funny moment in the film and you want to laugh, but then everybody else just laughs, and it's kind of like, and it kind of like just puts me off. And yeah, so I had to leave eventually, because there was so much laughing in the film Bad Boys for Life. There was 2 key scenes where the audience had kind of like a quiet laughter riot, Well, it wasn't quite. It was kind of normal voice laughter. And yeah. And there was another scene where I think Mike and Marcus, spoiler alert, they find another dead body, and it pans up to them, and Marcus is just there going, oh, and you know, because he doesn't like dead bodies, as he kind of saw in Bad Boys 1 and 2, because I've seen Bad Boys 1 and 2 at home. And yeah. So yeah, people were just laughing way too much, and I just found it, I just really got bothered. And I must admit, even though it wasn't that big, even though it wasn't like absolutely raging laughter, like I still found it quite annoying. Like, for example, listen to this.
Anybody else get killed dealing with my shit? Mike, she's a brouhaha. She'll make your eyes melt into your stupid ass head. She'll make your dick fall off.
That was me tutting.
You should be minding your own business anyway.
And that was one of the last jokes that I heard, and then there was this. And yes, my dad was like, it was funny, but it was just like, after that point in the movie, where it's like an aeroplane scene between Mike and Marcus, I just had to leave, because I was too stressed out. And yeah, there was also this woman who kept giggling all the time before the film, and in the adverts and stuff, and kept going, and I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna have to cope with this for the whole movie. And it made me start thinking stuff like when I saw a trailer for Queen and Slim, I said to my dad, I wish we were seeing that movie, because I did. I honestly wish that we were watching Queen and Slim, and not a movie where everybody would be laughing all the way through. And yeah, so I had to leave after when the aeroplane scene was happening with Mike and Marcus on the plane. I think they were going to capture these drug lord guys, I think, in Mexico, or something like that. Anyway, yeah, so me and my dad left. I was really panicky and shaky, and I was really weak, because I just couldn't cope with all those people laughing. It was just a distressing experience for me, rather than the fun experience it should have been. And yeah, the moments I liked in Bad Boys for Life were the moments where the drug people were on screen, where like the Mexican people were on screen, like the bad guys, because they weren't really jokers, they didn't really make jokes, and the audience stayed quite quiet during those scenes. And yeah, so I just left, and I was really upset, because I only saw I saw 70 minutes, which was quite a lot of chunk of the film, which was quite a big chunk of the film, but you know, I didn't stay through the whole thing, and at some point I'm going to watch Bad Boys for Life again. And yeah, so it's a strange off-putting that I have when people laugh in a movie. And yeah. Anyway, so on to an experience I had when I tried to go to the cinema on a Wednesday night. And this one is just crazy. Like, this is manic. Like, this is some manic crap, guys. And I must tell you about it. So I went to watch the film called Countdown in Cineworld, and basically it was like 6:40 at night. I was almost late, but luckily we weren't. And the screen was really small. Well, the screen wasn't really small. The screen was like a normal screen size, but it was like kind of like the seats were down there, and the screen was kind of up there, if you know what I mean. So you had to kind of look up like that to see the screen, even though it was just a normal screen. And yeah. So basically what happened is, for some reason, Countdown was a movie that got bad reviews, which was probably because it was quite a messy film according to the critics, even though I had mild enjoyment over the first, like, I don't know, hour that I saw of it. And anyway, so yeah, so basically it was weird because, yeah, the critics had given this film a bad review, and I was going to a showing on a Wednesday night at 20 minutes to 7, I think it was the time, 6:40 on a Wednesday night, on like a school night. And for some weird reason, it was packed. I mean, there was almost no seats left in the cinema when everybody got in. Yeah, there was like almost no seat left. A film that my fellow critic, who I really like, called Chris Stuckman, gave an F, which is his lowest rating, was packed. Countdown was packed. There was almost no seat left, and it was a freaking Wednesday night showing at 20 to 7. Like, what the hell, man? And it was really weird, because like, there was, like, almost no seat left in the cinema. Even worse, at one point, before the movie started, this guy got kicked out. I don't know why. They just said get out, and he was like, why? And he just kind of left, and then this guy swore at him, and he said shut the F up or something like that. And then yeah, so that guy was escorted out of the cinema. And so yeah, and then the movie started, and I realised something that was just really freaking stupid. The movie had subtitles. I swear to God, it had subtitles, and it didn't even say it on the website. Like, when I went on the cinema website, it said nothing about subtitles, but there were subtitles. So, like, if somebody was saying something and they got interrupted, so if somebody was saying something and they got interrupted by, like, a monster or a demon or, like, a jump scare, it would kind of be ruined, because there'd, like, be lines next to the thing imitating somebody's sentence being cut off or something. And yeah, so it kind of ruined, well, it didn't actually ruin the jump scares, but it probably would have if somebody was speaking and then a jump scare came. But yeah, if you know what I mean. So yeah, there were subtitles on the film. All the way through the film, I was just kind of trying not to look at the subtitles, and it was really annoying. And there's this one scene which wasn't really meant to be that funny, but mild spoiler alert, a woman's like looking at a phone or something because of this deadly app, because she just got it from the phone store and she just got back in the car, and she's like wondering why the app's come back on or something like that, and she accidentally almost hits a man, and he calls her a stupid bitch, and the audience found it kind of funny. And yeah, like it wasn't really meant to be that funny, but yeah. But yeah, like, it was such a bad experience that eventually me and my dad left. It was just packed in there, like, it was packed. Like, it was, I swear, it was a film at 20 minutes to 7 at night on a Wednesday night, and it was packed. Plus, it wasn't even, I'm not even saying it was a holiday or anything, because it wasn't a holiday. But yeah, it was packed. And yeah, I think, I have no idea why it was packed. My dad said something about meerkat movies and cheaper prices on Wednesday night at that cinema that I went to. But I'm not quite sure. I just don't know why it would be packed. Like, it's a movie that Chris Stuckman gave an F. If you go on his channel and see Countdown Movie Review, he did a good review of it. Wow. I don't like being good. He gave it a good grade, but he did like a good review on it. But he gave it an F, which is his lowest grade, which means it's a terrible film. And yeah. So, I left at this point where I think it's this girl's hiding under a bed, and she can hear her, and she can hear her mum, and she thinks she's a demon or something, and then her mum actually starts talking to her. and I left at that point, and I went out, and I went to the toilet, and then we just left and went back home. Well, my dad had come to pick me up from my mum's house, which is where I am now. And yeah, so I went back home, and yeah. Next experience is a funny experience. And it's only funny for one reason. And nothing was really, there wasn't really much of it. But anyway, I'll tell you this. I went to watch Black Christmas, and there's one scene near the beginning where spoiler alert if you haven't seen Black Christmas and you want to see it, but yeah, this girl's walking, and then she sees this like guy, and she thinks he's and like she kind of thinks he's following her, because she can like see him when she turns around at some points, and then eventually he gets hold of her, does the guy, and she tries to enter the house, but this guy gets hold of her and is about to stab her with an icicle, and guess what happened? This little girl and her mother accidentally walked in right when the girl was getting stabbed with the icicle. Right when the girl was getting stabbed with the icicle. Like, wouldn't that just haunt your child forever? Like, even though it was an accident, like they accidentally walked in to the screen. Like, they walked in at the complete wrong time, because it was when a death scene was happening. Like, what better time to walk in when an actual death scene is happening? Like, when a teenage girl is being stabbed by this, like, hooded man with a hooded mask, and it's like, shh, and he stabbed her, and then he makes kind of like an angel pattern in the snow with her, or something like that, and he drags her away. But then they just walked straight back out, did the little girl and the woman, and the little girl didn't say anything or anything. They just walked into the wrong cinema. But anyway, I just found it really funny. And yeah, so last experience is, this one's going to be quick because I don't have many minutes left on like the camera memory. But yeah. So yeah, I went to watch the film back in 2018. I went to watch the film Ralph Breaks the Internet, Wreck-It Ralph 2, which is a sequel to 2012's hit Wreck-It Ralph. And yeah, so I went to watch it in an IMAX screen, so like in a big IMAX screen in 2D. And basically there was this guy, and he was sat like not directly in front of me, but like there was a couple of seats to the right, and he was sat there. And like, he laughed at everything. I mean, he found it hilarious. Like, every single little joke he laughed at. And it was just, it was just really, really, really annoying for me, because every time there was a joke or a little gag or something like that, it would be like, and it just really, 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 really annoyed me. And it really got to me, because he just kept doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. Even though he must have found the film funny, I guess. But yeah, it just really got to me. He never stopped. I can't remember if he stayed for the post-credit scenes or not, but one of the post-credit scenes, I actually laughed, because there's this little girl in the post-credit scene, and she was playing this game, and she said something that was quite funny to me, and so I actually laughed then. But I didn't throughout the majority of the movie, because that guy just kept laughing, and it just got to me. And I wouldn't have really found it funny anyway, but yeah. So, guys, thank you for watching this video. After the quarantine, we all deserve a good movie experience. Not a one with obnoxious teenage girls screaming or anybody being disruptive. And yeah. So, guys, I'll see you later. Bye.